Hello and welcome to another Tea with a Druid. This is T343. My name is Philip Carr-Gomm and Tea with a Druid is brought to you by the Order of Bards, Ovates and Druids. It's good to be with you. This is a recording made before Monday when the tea goes out. So what I wanted to talk about today was about how I believe one can be concerned about world events, feel empathy for those people who are suffering, wish that things were different, and at the same time be able to connect to a deep sense of peace. I think we can sometimes tell ourselves that if we are to be concerned, we have to be worried and therefore upset and therefore knocked off center. But there's a way in which I believe one can have access to that still center within us and still be concerned, still be upset, but actually by being connected to our still center, perhaps be of more use to those around us. And from a Druid perspective, one of the ways of accessing that still center is not only through finding it deep within, but it's also finding it in nature, because nature is also deep within. And the separation of seeing nature outside and inside is, of course, an illusion. And this idea is expressed beautifully, I think, in a beautiful poem by Wendell Berry, The Peace of Wild Things, which I'd like to read to you now. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light. For a time I rest in the grace of the world and am free. Wendell Berry, The Peace of Wild Things. I love that line where he says, and I feel above me the day, he feels the stars because of course he can't see them because it's daytime. I feel above me the day blind stars waiting with their light. So there's that suggestion of just trust. The stars will shine again tonight. And I very much admire the Bishop of, who was she? The Bishop of Washington, was it the Bishop of Washington? Yes, the Bishop of Washington who gave a sermon the other day. Very courageous to do that. And there's a way in which we can show courage and determination while still being connected to a sense of resting in the grace of the world. And one of the ways we can maintain a sense of equilibrium, and incidentally, a response from some people can be, well, there are times when it's not appropriate to be centered. It's a time when one should be outraged and upset and all the rest of it. And I take issue with that, I think, because in my experience, to be effective and competent, I need to be anchored in a sense of deep peace and equilibrium within. I can still, in other ways, be upset, angry, and so on, but I need that anchoring. This is just for myself. Maybe it's different for other people. I have another poem for you, which I'd like to read to you in the meditation, because I think if one asks oneself, well, okay, it's all very well to say that, but how do you find that equilibrium? How do you find that peace? Well, I think that's one of the gifts of a spiritual way. It's one of the reasons why we follow a spiritual way. It would be easy to say, well, we've gone beyond the need for spiritual ways now. We know the common threads that exist in all of spiritualities and religions. We also know the terrible pathologies that religion particularly can fall into. We know the abuses of power and so on that can occur within particularly religious contexts and spiritual group contexts as well. We don't need that. We don't need a path to follow. We don't need that containment. And again, at particular times in our lives, that may be the case. But I think one of the values of following a spiritual way is that it just gives us some handrails, some focuses, some help in reminding ourselves. And so for Druids and nature spirituality folk, one of the ways is to meditate outside in nature, and also to meditate in the nature of oneself, in the nature of being. And as Druids, we use the idea of a clearing in the forest to meditate with. So let's go into that clearing in the forest now, just allowing ourselves to become aware of being fully present here and now, and then lowering the gaze or closing our eyes to become aware of the walls around us, the floor beneath us, and the ceiling above us. And even as we become aware of these things, perhaps they start to gently melt as we find ourselves coming into the clearing, coming into the sacred grove. A small fire burning in the center. Fellow folk gathering around us in a circle. So we're in the company of friends, and in the company too of the animals and the birds that seem to gather around us too in the circle. See if you can sense what animals are just gently coming closer as you sit quietly in the grove, just coming up to bathe in the atmosphere too. Just enjoying the sense of peace that exists here. Taking in a slow, deep breath, holding for a moment, and then breathing out fully and deeply. And again, slow, deep breath. And breathing out fully and deeply. Opening to an awareness now of the earth beneath us. And you can feel the energy of the earth. And you allow your awareness to drop into the earth now, to sense the earth beneath you. Sensing the soil, all the life in the soil, all the creatures, all the life and the energy and the moisture and the soil and rocks and minerals. All this energy not separate from you, but flowing up into your being. And feel how opening into this energy of the earth, just opening up, relaxing into it, how it brings a sense of richness, of nourishment, of stability. Sense the roots of the trees now drawing up the energy of the earth too. And become aware now of the trees around us, sensing them as brothers and sisters, as allies, fellow inhabitants of this planet, sensing them as spirits, but also as these tremendous solid beings, stable and upright, their roots drawing the moisture up, the energy flowing up the trunks, their branches and leaves and needles above you, breathing in the energy of the trees now, breathing in the energy, the oxygen, the essential oils of the trees. And become aware now of the sky above you. Sense the energy of the sky, and as you breathe in deeply into the belly, feel the energy of the sky flowing down into your being. Notice the quality of energy that the sky gives you. Notice how different it is to the energy of the earth and to the energy of the trees too. What a rich world that we live in, that the energy of the earth and the sky and the trees flows through us, and we can consciously receive these energies and benefit from them so that they nourish and support us. And all these energies now weave in our hearts and our bodies in the center of our beings. May the energy of the earth and the sky and the trees bring us stability and calm, health and inspiration. You become aware now of the sacred grove. You hear the crackling of the fire. And you listen to the words of the bard as he steps forward into the clearing. How I Go into the Woods by Mary Oliver. Ordinarily, I go to the woods alone, with not a single friend, for they are all smilers and talkers and therefore unsuitable. I don't really want to be witnessed talking to the catbirds or hugging the old black oak tree. I have my way of praying, as you no doubt have yours. Besides, when I am alone, I can become invisible. I can sit on the top of a dune, as motionless as an uprise of weeds, until the foxes run by unconcerned. I can hear the almost unbearable sound of the roses singing. If you have ever gone to the woods with me, I must love you very much. And we realize that we love all those who have gathered with us in the woods because we are in the company of people who appreciate this relationship with nature. Talking to the catbirds, hugging the old black oak tree, our own way of praying, sitting on top of a dune as motionless as an uprise of weeds until the foxes run by unconcerned, hearing the almost unbearable sound of the roses singing. Surrounded by friends who understand these things. In the company of animals who understand that we are no threat to them. In the company of the trees who understand we are no threat to them. We come with open hearts, with pure intentions, with a desire to heal and to learn and to grow, with a desire for peace to reign on earth. And we find ourselves just allowing our hands to drift down to the earth and placing our palms on the earth. May peace prevail on earth. May the earth be blessed. May the land be blessed. And then your hands drift out to either side of you, and you take the hands of the person to either side of you. Sensing the strength of the circle, the community that we make. May we all learn to live together in peace and harmony on this earth. And sensing the support of being together, we gently squeeze the hand to either side of us and allow our hands now to come to our hearts. May our lives be blessed. May all life be blessed. And as you feel these blessings flowing through you, you become aware of your body. You feel the warmth from your hands. You sense your body warm, filled with calm and with blessings. As your awareness of the body grows stronger, your awareness of being in the sacred grove begins to fade. As you become aware of the walls around you, the floor beneath you and the ceiling above you. And when you feel ready, and only when you feel ready, you gently stretch your fingers and toes. And when you feel ready, you open your eyes. So, thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed that poem of Mary Oliver and the poem of Wendell Berry before that. And I very much look forward to being with you next week. Have a very, very good week. Much love, many blessings. Bye.